Hello, and welcome to another episode of Trainly Installations. Today I'm reviewing two Aristocraft Napa Valley wine train locomotives. Each locomotive is designated with the number 74, and each is set up identical. One locomotive is addressed as 74, the other one is 75. That address is denoted on the bottom of the locomotive. As typical with my installations, I design a custom mount for the decoder, and I removed the original electronics. I did do some rewiring for both locomotives. I'll give you a minute to review the different pictures to kind of see how and what I have done. Now that you've seen all those pictures, we're going to go ahead and review the functions. I try to set up the functions, I should say, more or less similar in all the sound projects that I have modified for them. It's kind of an Americanized, unspoken standard. In part to NCE cabs, where they assigned actual buttons for things like the headlight and the horn and the bell. So to start with, to turn on the sound of each locomotive, we go ahead and press F8. So now that one is started, I could actually start the other one if we wanted to, and make it really noisy in here. Well, there it goes. Now both engines are running. Now, if I press F8 again, it'll actually play a different sound or shutdown sequence. So I'm going to be reviewing the front locomotive in the view here specifically, which is identified as number 74. To turn on the headlights, go ahead and press F0. And you'll notice that the headlight comes on, the number lights come on, and the cab light comes on. When I move the locomotive, the cab light automatically shuts off. Once it stops moving, the cab light will come back on. F1 is your bell. F2 is a playable long horn. So as long as you hold the button down or have it locked down, it'll play the horn. F3 is the highway crossing horn. F4 is the shunting mode. Now shunting mode does a couple of interesting things. It changes how the sound functions. It decreases or shuts off the momentum, and it limits how fast the locomotive can actually travel. And then it also, I'll go ahead and shift it to F4, it dims the front headlight, and the headlight now stays on regardless of the direction, and the cab light stays on. It also turns on an interior set of lights in the locomotive. So when moving, you'll hear a sound difference. I'll back it up again. I'll take it out of shunting mode and show you the difference. Notice the headlight went off because I was still in reverse. So we'll go back forward again. You notice that turbo started spinning up, and you hear the engine rev up a little bit more. And the brakes actually squeal. And it takes a little bit longer for the locomotive to get moving. And bring it forward and put it back in forward. Oh. There we go. F5 gives you the option to turn on or off the cab light. When the cab light has been turned on automatically with the headlight, you can turn it off using F5. If I turn off the headlights completely, I can use F5 again to turn on the cab light. When it is turned on with F5, the cab light stays on with movement. I'm going to back it up again. F6 would normally turn on the smoke. F7 with the headlights on only. Simulates a Mars light. And that only functions with the headlights on. F8, of course, turns on and off the sound. F9 and 10 are the volume controls. F9 increases it, and F10 decreases it. So we can turn its volume down a little bit. F11 is the cornering squeal, or the flange squeals. It only plays with movement. Turn that off and I'll back it up here. F12 is the electric brake. Makes a little different noise. F13 is using the engine brake, which is kind of your, that would be your dynamic braking. What dynamic braking does is it reverses the polarity in the traction motors. F14 and 15 are different coupling sounds. 14 is just the coupling sound. Okay. And 15 is the coupling crash. And then finally 16 and 17. 16 is the handbrake tightening. And then 17 is the handbrake release. I'm Christine McNair, and I did the installation for both these locomotives. Thanks for watching.